Hello beautiful people. I just tried to do this video a little while ago and it wouldn't post because it was too long, so I'm going to try and keep it to 10 minutes, which is quite difficult because it's quite a big subject for me. So I would like to talk about an aspect of what being in and out of hospital has been like for me. So some people, like if you're a complete stranger, you won't know about my hospital history. People who do know me will know some of my hospital history, but I think the thing that's really dawning on me at the moment is actually nobody really knows. None of you really know what it's been like. When I'm talking about this all the way through, I'm not talking about anything in a blameful or hateful way. I'm identifying that for whatever reason I've probably isolated myself a lot through it. So this is just me aware that I'm feeling stuff around it at the moment, and I just want to get it out there. I should probably stop using 1 minute and 17 seconds to explain that. I've only got some time left. I couldn't do the math quick enough. Okay. So, in 2011, I had an operation, really simple operation, also it should have been, for endometriosis. I'm going to do a different video at another point about, that experience, because actually what I want to focus on today is like my in and out of hospital and how that's really affected my life. So it was horrific. Everything went really, really wrong. I ended up having 3 lots of major surgery in a week, severe peritonitis through a hole in my bowel, septicemia, intensive care, knocking at death's door, thinking I was going to die, people around me looking at me like they were afraid I was going to die, mistake after mistake after mistake. You just couldn't even make it up. Again, but that's not what I want to, that's not really the area I want to go into. I'm not going to name the hospital or the doctors involved. It's not about that. I have an amazing group of friends. My hospital visits, admissions became such a regular thing over the past few years that I had to get keys cut for a lot of my friends so they could get into the house to get things for me whilst in hospital. And also my friends set up like a WhatsApp group so that I could just tell one person I was in hospital and then everyone would know. I think why it's with me, or what is with me today, is how lonely it's been and how dark it's been at times, and how I've been really quick to like, oh yeah, I'm in hospital, or put on Facebook, here I am again in hospital. And there's definitely a side of it all that I just don't let out and I don't connect with. Like even being admitted to hospital is traumatic, and I tend not to let anyone know I'm going into hospital, other than the off my face morphine calls to my manager, who's one of my friends, because suddenly I'm aware I'm not going to be in work for a few days, and shock horror, the world will end if I don't go into work. So but there has been that stress, around my job, and my work have been absolutely amazing and so supportive, but it still doesn't stop that feeling in me of having something wrong with my body, or has been wrong with my body, that's stopped me, that's held me back from being me. And that's exactly what it's felt like. So over the past couple of years in particular, it's just been horrific. I couldn't even tell you how many times I've been in and out of hospital over the past couple of years. Especially in the past 3 years. It got so bad, let me find this picture. It got so bad that 2 years ago this month they decided to operate again, and that was a big surgery, because I just had so many adhesions wrapped around my bowel that I was just in most months, and some months several times a month. So that was the picture of my last surgery. And that actually goes much further up. You can see I've got no belly button now. And even when I show you that, I still feel quite disconnected from it, like, oh, it's like I'm telling a story. I've got 5 minutes left. Yeah, this is a bit of a crazy one. I might have to do several parts because it's too much. There's too much. But I get no notice. I get about 20 minutes notice when I have to go into hospital, which means I've always got a hospital bag packed, which means every time I feel a twinge in my stomach, I freak. I feel like nowhere is safe for me. Like I was on a course in London last year, and 30 minutes before my course finished, ended up in hospital, ambulance, surrounded by people I don't know, stuck in a hospital in London on my own for a week. No food, no water for a week, no visitors. Dad was away, and again, this isn't about other people, you know, and people have their lives. I was in London. And I know, and this is the thing, I know if I'd have messaged some of my friends or got on the phone and said, I need you here, they'd have been there. So I really, you know, it is definitely my stuff that I'm talking about. I've really realised that I've had to seriously just disconnect with it all, because every time I go into hospital, it's so traumatic. The pain of a bowel obstruction, surgeons always laugh to me and say, oh, you're well prepared to have a baby, because actually the pain of a bowel obstruction is well on par with labour. And if you've seen me in the midst of a bowel obstruction, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like I'm in labour. I think it's always ironic though when they say that to me, considering doctors have told me that I can't have children because of it. Yeah, so because of that error. And me and my ex-partner did try for 19 months, so yeah, it's probably another whole video. The past few years have been really isolating. I feel like a lot of identity for me is attached to being in and out of hospital and feeling like an ill person. And, you know, like I said, every time I get a twinge in my stomach, going into hospital is lonely and traumatic. It's painful. I need another word. I need another word for pain, because I can't. It pushes me to. It pushes me. I vomit. I scream. I cannot stay still. I writhe about in pain. I pass out. Like, it pushes every part of my being to my absolute limit. Like, it's very upsetting, and it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. And like I've said, in the past few years, I can't even count anymore how many times I've been in and out. I think what I've connected with today, I've got like literally a couple of minutes left. What I've connected with today is how much I've isolated myself when I come out of hospital, and that's when a lot of the chronic fatigue syndrome has started. So I've been single, through choice I might add, but I've been single through a lot of this, and so I get discharged, I go home, you know, Dad will pick me up, we'll do a little food shop on the way home, and he's brilliant. Again, this isn't about anybody else. But then I'm left at home, on my own, with severe morphine withdrawal, nightmares, insomnia, pain throughout my whole body, still completely traumatised by it all. Try not to cry. And yeah, and I'm just on my own. No one to make me a cup of tea or like get a meal that I fancy. You know, that would require me to burden the hell out of everybody else. And my friends are amazing, they're out of this world amazing. But what I'm trying to illustrate is how tiring it's been, and how soul destroying it's been, and how crippling to my being and to my soul. I've fought it too much, which is why I've left England for a year, because fighting it is just killing me. I feel like I've probably let a lot of people down in that time, and in particular, I'm going to say this really quickly because if not I will properly start blaring, but I think in particular with my little brothers, there were definitely times where I'd arrange to like see them, and you know, I'm trying to pretend everything's okay because that's what I do. And instead of saying, look, you might be sick of hearing this, but I'm really in a bad place. Like, I can't walk my own dog at the moment. I've got people having to come over and do that. I can't cook my own meals. I can't stay at work. I can't remember, probably shouldn't say this. I can't remember the last time I could stay at work. And I've actually gone down to part-time hours at work. So that was a massive hit on income for me, which means a massive hit on lifestyle for me. And I still, even just like 3.5, 4 hours a day, I still just couldn't do it. And that's, yeah, that's massive. That's a massive identity thing for me. And I think, you know, I think times over the past year or so where I've let my little brothers down, instead of treating, especially the older of the two, instead of treating him like an adult or just being honest and just even calling mum, because the youngest still lives with mum, and saying, I'm not okay, I'm really in a bad way and I can't work properly at the moment, I can't live my life properly, so I really want to see the boys, but I have nothing in me to give right now. Instead of saying that and just being vulnerable, I'd just let them down. Last minute, which again, identity-wise, is very, very far removed from who I am, especially who I am or what I want to be to them. Which is another reason I just removed myself from England, because the pressure of, and it's pressure from myself, but the pressure of, you know, wanting to be this person who, you know, who does this amazing job because I love it and I'm passionate about it and I want to do it and I want to be a good big sister and I want to be a good daughter, and being left with a condition that for the past few years has just, I feel like has just taken everything away from me, has been really, really difficult. I'm really aware that I'm about to run out of time. But this video is really about me realising that being vulnerable is okay and not being okay is okay. And sometimes I'm not going to be the best person at my job, and sometimes I'm not going to be the best big sister, even though that breaks my heart, and I'm not always going to be the best daughter or friend. That's why I'm here, that's why I've left England, so that I don't have to worry about those things anymore. Also, they're not so in my face, and so I can just get myself well, so that I can come back to England and annoy the hell out of all of you. Yeah, I just really wanted to share that, yeah, life has been really tough. And I really am about to run out of time, so I'm going to leave it there. I'll probably do some more videos around this, but just kind of wanted to share these things because I like to pretend that I'm okay. I'm really going to run out of time, so I'm just going to say goodbye. Thank you for listening. You had no choice. Bye. I love you.